What's up, everybody? Thanks for joining the Glads Horror Channel, the best horror channel here on YouTube. I know it's been a little bit, but I am back. It is time to review Black Phone. Let's get started. So before I get started, I have missed you guys. There's been a lot going on in my personal life that has taken me away from getting the time to film and talk to you all about these horror movies I love so much. But a lot of that stuff's been taken care of. It is time to get back to the horror. So if you follow this channel for a while, you've seen my video at the beginning of the year for my most anticipated horror movies of 2022. Black Phone was one of them. And I just watched it maybe a week or so ago, and we got to talk about it. Now, number one, I liked it. Oh, and let me backtrack. There will not be any spoilers at all. But I am going to talk as openly as I can, as you know, based on watching this movie. So, number one, I liked it. Here's what I liked about Black Phone. Number one, Ethan Hawke was amazing. And what I liked about the setup, if you watch this movie and you pay close attention, you can tell that the production company, the directors, were trying to make themselves a brand new slasher character that could last for multiple installments, the same way Michael Myers, Jason Voorhees, and so on and so forth. One of my favorite things that I liked about the original Halloween that is very similar to Black Phone is a lot of times with the villain of Halloween, he's in the background a lot, to where the audience can see him, but the people on screen could not. And they used the same formula with Black Phone, and not in a rip-off way. It worked. It worked for the creepiness factor. Now that's my next thing that I'm going to that I liked about it. It was creepy. I love the idea of the 8mm style filming and flipping back and forth between present day and that, to show that this has been happening for some time now. I really liked that idea a lot. The next thing I liked about it, the acting was awesome. The two leads, the two young kids that were the leads of this movie were great. The little girl, when there was a scene where she had to cry like on command, and you felt every bit of her pain during that scene. The emotion that movie in general just was able to pull out of people was really good. This would be one of those movies that I would show a newer horror fan that likes horror but doesn't want anything too over the top, not too bloody, not too intense. Just a very solid, well acted, well crafted horror movie. Now, I follow a lot of horror groups and forums online, and this has had mixed reviews on the forums as I've looked into. And I feel as if for those that didn't like it, I saw somebody said it was, a few people said it was slow. It did take some time to build up. But if you look back at movies like the original Halloween, movies like these movies that are trying to tell a long-term story, it takes time to build up, so that when this villain is shown, when this villain is now doing their thing, you're invested enough on the characters that may be potential victims. A lot of times in horror today, they rush through things. Everything is just as fast paced as possible, and you don't get that build up in a lot of these horror movies I think that hurts the long term of these movies. Now, I don't know how the movie did, or how the movie's doing so far from a financial perspective, but I do know that regardless of how it ended, regardless of whatever happens in it, if the financial aspect is strong, it'll come back again. And the way the movie was set up, like this entire time of the build up, I think it was very good to further this particular villain. I personally would love to see more of this villain on screen. I would love to see a backstory of him, or just forward along, you know, from picking up from this one. It doesn't really matter. The acting was what drew you in, and on top of that, it also had some very solid jump scares, some very, very good solid jump scares. You can poke holes in just about every story, but not trying to get into the minutia of everything and just looking at it for what it was. This is one of the best slashers we've seen in quite some time. And it's, again, I would show this to anybody who's newer to the game, because it's more of like a feel-good horror movie, essentially, if that makes sense. And a lot of time, that brings me to the next point of the people that didn't like it. A lot of us horror fans, unfortunately, we don't like the feel-goods. We don't like it to be, we in this day and age we're in, it's fast-paced slasher, fast-paced killing, fast-paced, and it needs to end in a way that doesn't make us feel good. That is what is a great horror movie. You know, that's what some people consider a great horror movie. I think this is well-paced for the story they were trying to tell. I feel like the jump scares were legitimate and enough to keep and well placed throughout, so that you don't get completely taken out or completely bored. It's enough to, oh, okay, all right, I'm back in, oh, okay, you know, but it's not. Some horror movies rely on the jump scares too heavily, where it's like boom, boom, jump scare, boom, boom, jump scare, boom, boom, jump scares, through all the way throughout. And by the end of the movie, the jump scares become predictable or diluted because they've been thrown throughout the movie way too much. This one spaced them out very well. Then you take the story, then you take the acting, then you take the villain, and it all worked very well. If you haven't seen Black Phone, I strongly suggest you check it out. If you're a horror fan, even if you're not, but you're trying to get into the horror genre, this is the movie for you. Again, I'm not going to rehash what I just said, but I can't say enough good things about it. If I had to critique it, I really don't see anything from a critique standpoint without having to break that I couldn't say about just about any other horror movie. There's no perfect, well, very few perfect movies. And so there were definitely some issues here, but why even take my time to get into that? Overall, I enjoyed my time watching it. I would watch it again, and I didn't feel like I wasted my money. That's all I'm looking for when I go to a horror movie, if I actually take the time to go to the theater, which I did for this one. So if you have not seen Black Phone, check it out. If you have seen it, get down in the comments. Let me know what you guys think. Did you like it? Did you not like it? What how did you feel? I want to know what you thought about Black Phone. I particularly loved it, and I look forward to watching it again when it comes out on streaming or DVD. Anyway, guys, that's my time for this video. If you're new here, like, share, subscribe. This is the Glaz Horror Channel, the best horror channel here on YouTube. I do reviews, I do top 10 lists, I do all things horror, and I also take requests. So hit that subscribe button. I'll see you next time.